Last topic of the day. We got in trouble earlier, not really, but we did fill in the blanks, and we only got to one topic talking about Taysom Hill. So we've got three more that we want to go ahead and finish up so we can say we did our job for this Monday. Jacoby Brissett says he's just doing his job when it comes to all the quarterback rumors involving the Colts. The blank will employ Jacoby Brissett in 2020.
Right now, I'm still going to go with the Colts. Right now, I'm going to go with the Colts as him being a really high-priced backup quarterback. Now, there's another great example of why did you throw all that money out there? Did you have to throw that much out there to him? You know, this is what I don't understand about owners in the quarterback market right now. And I think we're overdoing it. But, you know, I look at his current cap charge and the things he's dealing with there, and I just have a hard time thinking that they're going to be able to trade Jacoby Brissett away because some team's going to look at him as a starter and then also pay him, what is it, $15 million a year, Mike? Right? I mean, that's about the money he's expected to make. I got to pull it up again. I got it here. I left the page I was on there by accident. But that, to me, is the big thing. Like, I don't think they're getting rid of Jacoby Brissett unless they pay some of the salary as well.
Yeah, they owe him $8 million plus in a guaranteed roster bonus, and there's a $6 million salary on top of it. I think he's going to play for the Colts. I think they're going to keep him, and they're going to supplement him with somebody else who's making as much or less than Jacoby Brissett. And then combined, you know, that's your quarterback budget. But I think they want to see if Brissett can turn it around. Frank Reich is a believer. And I still think that if they can get Nick Foles, and if the Jaguars pay part of his salary, or if they can get a good trade deal, then maybe they take Foles off the Jaguars' hands, and the Jaguars, by all appearances, want to go forward with Gardner Minshew. That could be a win-win, and then you let Foles and Brissett compete.
I agreed. I could totally see that. You're right. I mean, the dead money and what they're going to pay him and all of that just doesn't make sense. I mean, if he stays on the team, they give him $15.8 million. If they cut him, it's still going to cost $12.5 million. So for that, the $3 million difference, I would just say, Colts, you just keep him and then see what else you can do from there on out. So it'll be interesting. I do think there'll be some teams that will call and be interested. I would think like, hey, teams that, you know, maybe the New England Patriots, the Tennessee Titans, the Houston Texans, all who, of course, know people in New England who drafted him originally and have a same vision of what they want their backup quarterback to be. I think Jacoby Brissett will have a market like that, but I just don't know if ultimately anybody's going to trade anything away from him and pay him that money.
Watch the Parcells connections, too, because
you're right.
Brissett is very close with Parcells, right. So he may be twisting some arms out there to get somebody to take him. Teddy Bridgewater's close with Parcells as well.
Yeah.
And, I mean, who knows? Depending upon I don't think the Saints can afford this, but, you know, they need a veteran who can run the Saints offense if Drew Brees is injured, because that's not Taysom Hill. And if Teddy leaves, I think Brissett will be too expensive. But you know,
Pittsburgh Steelers, I'd be calling the Colts. Right? Because I'd go, okay, if Ben gets hurt again, I don't want to just watch my season go down the drain with the guys we have, and we feel like we're a talented team. That would be a team I would go, man, Jacoby Brissett, it would make sense for him, and the Steelers, it would make sense for them, too, to protect themselves like a Bridgewater did for Brees and the Saints this past year. That would be another team that, you know, I thought about filling in the blank with. Ultimately, I went with the Colts, but those were the teams that were going through my head.
All right, next up, Aaron Rodgers says he understands the Packers could use a first-round pick on a quarterback but would prefer more immediate help. If you were Brian Gutekunst, you would, in round one, draft a blank.
Draft a difference maker. That's all I care about. I mean, ultimately, I want to say a wide receiver, but, you know, even if it's a big-time defensive tackle, you know, draft something. Yeah, I would draft something that's going to help my team right now. You know, you've said it, right, many times here over the last year. And this is real, and this is the reality, I think, of the future of the NFL. We're seeing every year 4 or 5 really talented guys come in the NFL at the quarterback position. You don't need to panic and go, oh, man, Aaron Rodgers only has 4 years left. We need to draft a quarterback. No, you don't. He's got at least 4 years left. Make the team better. They need some big-time playmakers. They do need an A.J. Green or a number 1 receiver in the draft, whatever it may be. You know, they need something like that. Or another offensive lineman or an interior D tackle, like I said. But I don't want to see it wasted on a quarterback. I wouldn't do that.
Offensive linemen in round one are always not, and defensive linemen. Anybody other than skill position players aren't viewed as sexy because everybody's looking for their next fantasy football standout.
Right.
But I would go with an offensive lineman.
Sure.
Brian Bulaga, likely not going to be back, and I would want to keep Aaron Rodgers protected. But
I hear that.
Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years, but the only reason they drafted Aaron Rodgers is because they didn't know what the hell Brett Favre was going to do. Every year he's talking about I may retire, may retire, may retire. Well, they had to protect themselves. Rodgers fell into their laps, so they took him.
Yes.
And he sat for 3 years until they finally encouraged Brett Favre to get the hell out because they wanted to go forward with Rodgers.
That's right. We have no inkling of that. I mean, Rodgers makes comments. I heard him make a comment on Friday on that Wisconsin radio show. He plans on playing for a long time. So when he says that, I don't think we're even in the, last 4 years conversation here. I think this is a guy that's looking to go to 40 or somewhere 41 or 42. He takes care of his body, and I don't think he's going to lose RPMs on his arm or anything like that. So, yes, I would not rush to the quarterback conversation if I'm Gutekunst yet.
He's 36 years old. He is signed through 2023. They wouldn't have given him that giant contract that they did if they didn't think he was going to play for a while. And, I think he's going to be there, and they shouldn't waste a draft pick on a position where they have a starter who's going to be there for a long time. They can find a backup, and they need to use that pick on an impact player, and I would say offensive lineman. All right, last one. The Cardinals, the Jets, and the Texans have inquired about Trent Williams. Out of those three teams, the blank need Trent Williams the most.
Well, I'd probably go with the Cardinals, I think, if I was going to look at any of those three. I mean, they all can use them, certainly. I think the Texans are probably the one I look at that least could use him. I mean, they did draft 2 offensive linemen early at first rounder, and Max Sharping, I can't remember if he was a second or third rounder, and of course they traded, for Laramie Tunsil as well. So I look at them and go, okay, they're okay. The Cardinals, I just go, and the Jets are in this conversation as well. But the Cardinals, I mean, you got a guy like Kyler Murray, as we've talked about. He's special. He really is. And, you got a guy like Trent Williams. He's really special, too. He's a Hall of Fame left tackle. I mean, he's really slam dunk, doesn't matter who you put over there. He can handle him by himself. And, I think that would be a great addition to that football team. They could have him at left tackle, and then, have a guy like DJ Humphries who's talented or whatever at right tackle or whatever they want to do. They can move it around.
When I saw that the Texans were interested, my first thought is, are they going to trade Laramie Tunsil for Trent Williams and get back some of what they gave up to get Tunsil? Right?
I think it's a good thought.
Use both of them?
I thought it was odd, too. I'm with you. I did not quite get that either. I was with you. I'm with you. I was like, well, what are they going to do? They going to move Laramie Tunsil to right tackle? Or are they trying to think about, hey, we'll give you a Tunsil and just give us Trent Williams and we'll make a trade that way and then we'll give Trent Williams a new contract? I don't know. But, I thought that was a little peculiar, too.
Yeah, and part of the problem, the Texans pulled the trigger on that trade last year, gave up a lot to get Tunsil and receiver Kenny Stills, and didn't sign him to a new contract then and there. All the leverage is with Tunsil.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.